famous pioneer in American history has just finished his Sunday dinner. He is sitting in his favorite rocking chair on the front porch of his log cabin in Missouri. The year is 1800. Daniel brought his family to Missouri 5 years earlier from Kentucky because he said that Kentucky had too many people and he needed more elbow room. So he packed up and headed west, just as he'd done back in 1773 when he moved his family from Pennsylvania to Kentucky.
Yes, sir. It seems like yesterday when Becky and I and the other 6 families left Pennsylvania heading for Kentucky.
But Dad, how did you know what would you find in Kentucky once you got there?
Oh, I had been there twice before. I knew it was where I wanted to settle, but your mother wasn't sure. I knew all about the beautiful forest and mountains, the clear streams, the wild turkey, and the deer that seemed to be everywhere, and the great fur trapping that was available. But it really wasn't until I discovered the wilderness road that your mother and the other families agreed to go west with me.
What's Wilderness Road, Grandpa? Where is it?
Actually, Martha, it was just a trail through the Allegheny Mountains. People had been trying for a long time to find some way through the mountains so that they could go west to the new frontier. But the mountains were very, very rough, and everyone turned back before they could make it through. But I found the trail and knew that we could all make it through okay.
It was a very important discovery, Martha. Once your grandfather found the Wilderness Road, it opened up the new frontier. It became the main thoroughfare for the moment westward. The first trip across the mountains in '73 was certainly an adventure.
Do you know where you were going to settle once you got to Kentucky?
Well, on an earlier trip to Kentucky, I had been captured by Shawnee Indians while they were moving me around with them. I'd seen the spot where I wanted to settle.
You were actually captured?
Yes. They kept me with them for many weeks. It was during that time that I learned how to hunt and live in that new territory. I also saw much of new land, including the spot where I wanted to settle.
Was that the spot where Bonesboro was found, Dad?
Yes, it was, Enoch, and a beautiful spot it was. I'll never forget coming over the last mountain and looking down on the spot and your father saying, "Well, Becky, there it is, our new home." I had never seen any places so beautiful. A lush green meadow sitting on a bend in a Kentucky river. Right then and there, I named it Boonesboro. In fact, Enoch, you were born right there a short time later. Before we even had the fort finished, you were the first white child born in Kentucky.
I don't remember that, but I sure do remember the fort, and I sure do remember when the Indians attacked it.
You were attacked by Indians, Daddy?
Yes, I was, honey. I was was still very young, but I had to fight anyways. We were just lucky that Dad was able to escape from the Indians and make it back to warn the attack.
Keep going.
That way we were able to be ready for them when they attacked.
You were captured by the Indians again, Grandpa? Was it the same tribe that captured you before? Yes, it was, Seth. The They captured me while I was out on a hunting trip. They kept me with them for a long time. In fact, their chief, Blackfish, adopted me as a son. I traveled, hunted, and lived with them for a number of months. They treated me well because I had proven to be a worthy warrior and hunter, but I still tried to escape and return to Boonesboro. But I was never able to escape because they watched me very closely. Then one night I overheard them talking around the campfire about their plans to attack Boonesboro. I knew that I had to escape and make it back to warn everyone. I finally escaped by holding on to the underside of a horse, slipping past a guard at night.
As soon as Dad returned and warned us, we began preparing for the attack. We stored food and water, got all the rifles and ammunition ready, and built up the walls of the fort. We were all very frightened because we knew that there were more than 400 Indians would be attacking, and all we had were 30 men and 20 children.
I was one of those children, Martha. I helped load the rifles, carry food and water, and also helped in the fighting.
It was quite a courageous stand. There were a number of times when we thought we wouldn't be able to hold out any longer. The Shawnee were building a tunnel under the fort's walls and had set brush fires all along the outside of the wall. Just when we feared that all would be lost, it began to rain very hard. The rain put out the fires and also made the tunnel collapse. After that, the Indians retreated and the fort was saved. Then not only Boonesboro, but all of Kentucky began to grow rapidly. More and more settlers from east came to the new land.
And that's when you decided to head west again and find more elbow room.
Well, this isn't the same kind of exciting new frontier that Kentucky was, but it's still beautiful, wide open country. Now I just want to relax, hunt, and watch my grandchildren grow up.
Grandpa, will you take me out and show me how you mark a trail when you were hiking through the woods?
You bet I will, Seth. You go get your hunting knife, and we'll go right now. It's very important to be able to mark your trail in the woods.